Nicole, welcome back to the channel. This morning, well, I'm in DC. I actually just finished shooting, an attempt at sunrise photos. I actually got clouds and rain. But anyways, I thought I would take this quiet morning and sit down and answer some questions that I get on my YouTube channel pretty frequently. I haven't done a Q&A in a while. Honestly, I've been so busy shooting sunrises, I haven't really had a lot of time to prepare a video aside from like all the sunrise stuff. So answering questions is a good way to do something. Okay, so these are just questions that I get in the comment section, and I usually reply to them individually, but I also thought maybe it'd be worth sharing them in this format because sometimes other people have the same questions. So on my most recent video where I'm shooting sunrise in a sunflower field, Bob says, "Are you planning on selling any of the footage photos as stock images? I wonder how well they would do and what type of releases you'd need. Thanks." Well, when it comes to these like sunflower field photos, I did that mostly for me, just because I enjoyed it and it was fun for me. But in terms of selling them, I might put up a few clips for sale, but I don't have high expectations for that because sunflower fields are a very, very saturated category. There's a lot of that on stock platforms already, and you're going to be competing with footage that's already really beautiful. So I might put up a few, but again, no high expectations for that. In terms of release forms, well, the only releases I'd need are releases from myself, because primarily it's just me in the footage. Okay, another question. Should I use Pond5 for photography? I've gotten this one a few times. Pond5 is a stock platform. I primarily use it for selling stock footage. I have recently increased my photography portfolio on there, but to be honest, I'm not getting a lot of photo sales. I do continue to get a lot of video sales though. So, people say Pond5 is better for footage and doesn't really have a lot of clientele for photography, but that could change, that could change, especially since a lot of photographers are putting their work there now due to, Shutterstock's earnings changes. So I'd say, why not? You can put your photos there, but I wouldn't have high expectations for photography there right now. But again, that's right now. Question from Marcos, which I already answered in the comments, by the way, but why not answer it here as well? Hi Nicole, are your clips 1080 HD or 4K? Which sell more? Well, they both sell. When it comes to stock photography, I have plenty of 4K clips for sale. I have plenty of HD clips for sale. It's always better when you can upload clips in 4K because then people have the option to download that clip in 4K or HD, thus creating the potential for more revenue for you. But just because you have a clip up for sale in 4K doesn't mean that someone's going to download it in 4K. Someone can download it in HD as well and just pay less. Question from Lawrence, which I already answered, but he says, "Where's the next Nicole Glass video?" And I've been getting this a lot. People are like, "Are you still alive? What's going on?" I guess I haven't been posting as frequently, and I guess you can say I have spent this month trying to re-inspire myself, and a lot of that came from shooting sunrises this past week. Humans are not like inspiration machines. We have like waves of inspiration. So when you have like a weekly YouTube schedule, obviously you want to try to stick to it as much as you can, but sometimes you just don't have that like inspiration for that week's video, so you can't always produce them like this. I mean, I admire people who do. But yeah, I think I've taken these past couple of weeks and just really focused more on photography, not so much making videos about it. But I'm always here. You can always find me on Instagram to see what I'm up to. I'm always working on something, even if it's not coming out like right away. All right, next question. Do you think it's worth buying a macro tube extension? This question probably came because I did some macro photos in my last video. So I am by no means an expert on macro photography. In fact, that's probably the type of photography I have the least amount of experience in, but I'm just doing it for fun. And I do have these like little extension tubes that I attach to my 100mm macro lens, and it just gives me that extra bit of zoom to get way closer shots, and for me it is worth it. They're not easy to use if you're doing handheld macro photos. Like, it's by no means easy to capture moving insects and stuff, but they do help and they're not expensive. So actually this would be a good time to bring up some photos I took yesterday. So here's a photo I took just with the regular 100mm lens, and here's a photo I took with the extension tubes added to that 100mm lens. And I was doing these photos because I was trying to figure out what is that. Turns out they're like baby stink bugs. But anyways, you can definitely see the difference that the extension tubes make. So is it worth it? Yeah, I would say it's worth it. I mean, something to add to your bag for whenever you take macro photos. Why not? Any tips, ideas if I like to shoot the same kind of content you do, journalistic style, capturing life, people, businesses, events, etc., but I live in a small country nobody knows about, so would rarely get sold. Yeah, so I'm often jealous of people who live out in more rural landscapes because I love nature, and sometimes I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be stuck in a city. But on the other hand, being in a city like Washington, D.C. does give you a lot of opportunities for newsworthy stock footage. And I say footage just because I'm focusing on that more than photos these days. So if you live in the middle of nowhere, I guess, you can still create newsworthy content, but it might not be so much like you're going out and you're documenting a protest, because maybe there's none of that in your area, but more so creating concept photos that depict something newsworthy. You know, like when this whole pandemic started, just creating concept photos of people documenting the new normal. I guess that's more in the direction of commercial photos, but at the same time, these are commercial photos that can be used by news platforms, that can be useful to a news platform. You know, just kind of like see what's going on in the news, where do you think the world is headed, and what kind of photos could be created to depict where the world is headed. So that's kind of like how I think anyway. So it's not the same kind of like journalistic style. It's not like going on the streets and documenting something. It's more like concepts that you're creating, which I guess are commercial. But if you do go out on the streets and want to document stuff in a place that nobody's heard of, you might want to kind of like look for those shots that could be taken anywhere. They might be taken in your town, but they look like they could be taken anywhere. Maybe that's ordering from a restaurant with a mask on, and the waiter is also wearing a mask, and you know, he's kind of like handing her food through a glass window or something like that. I mean, these are photos that maybe they are taken in a small town that no one's heard of, but they could be used in any context anywhere in the world, because this pandemic is global, right? So I mean, that's just an example. I'm sure these types of photos are already pretty common, but just kind of like a way of thinking about things. Another question that I've got is the question of should I be exclusive on Pond5 or should I not be exclusive on Pond5? And my answer to that is you can be both. You can actually create 2 accounts on Pond5, an exclusive account and a non-exclusive account. So on your non-exclusive account, you can sell your video clips on Pond5 as well as sell those clips elsewhere. And on Pond5, you'll get 40% of the earnings on a clip sale on a non-exclusive clip. And if you have an exclusive clip, you'll get 60%. So I have 2 accounts. My non-exclusive account is a lot bigger, but I'm working on building up my exclusive account now. Hope that answers that one. Anyways, I am back in the car now because the city is waking up. It's getting noisy. Traffic is here. Like, where are people going on a Saturday morning at 7 a.m.? I don't know. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you have any more questions that I can use in a future video, feel free to leave them below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you are new here. I make regular photography videos, and I'll be doing a lot more videos outside where I take you to some beautiful places and just bring you along the journey.